everyone, and welcome back to Casual Decks for Social Players Commander Edition. Here we have our 5 rules. 1, the deck's got to be made from Commander legal cards. 2, it's got to be made from pool cards. 3, if I do buy cards, because that's £5. 4, it's got to be fun. And 5, I can break any of these rules. Up today, we are looking at a mono white commander that is relatively easy to build and to give very strong results. We are of course talking about Light Paws, Emperor's Voice. This is a 1 and a white for a 2/2 Fox Advisor. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura and with a different name than each aura you control. Put that card on the battlefield attached to Light Paws, Emperor's Voice, then shuffle. This deck cares about auras, if you couldn't guess. It cares about enchanting those creatures, mainly Light Paws, in order to make this huge, unblockable, huge power, and then killing people out of nowhere with it. It can be very strong, but also very easy, cheap to build. So it's a really good one if you want to look at building a mono white commander. So let's have a look at what we've got. Up first, we have our auras that Light Paws wants attached to it. So we have a Glaring Aegis. Enters tap something and gives it +1/+3. We have a Griff's Boon in order to make Light Paws fly. Hyena Umbra to give it first strike +1 and totem armor. A very good way of protecting Light Paws. Mortal Obstinacy. When it deals combat damage, may sacrifices, destroy enchantment. It's okay if you could do one of those builds. Nyxborm Shieldmate, which is a creature but can be bestowed as an aura. I believe for Light Paws' sake, when it enters, it looks at the mana value of it, which is 1, so you're going to find a 1-cost aura, but it's still not bad. Radiant Grace, which is a 1+ and +1/+0 and vigilance, and when it dies, it transforms. In order to give the opponents creatures enter the battlefield tapped, which is really nice. Rafine's Guidance allows you to recast this from the graveyard. Sentinel's Eyes does the same as well. You can escape it to cast it from the graveyard and give it vigilance. Solid Footing. This allows you to, as long as you have vigilance, assign combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. There's a few ones that boost the cheap auras that boost toughness rather than power, so this effect can be really, really useful. Spirit Link. Enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life. This is not lifelink, so you can double up on the lifelink effects. All That Glitters. This gets powerful very, very quickly because it gets +1/+1 for each each artifact and or enchantment you control, and each of these auras are enchantments. That gets nasty very quickly. Angelic Gift to draw a card and then give it flying. Benevolent Blessing in order to give it protection from a chosen color, which means they can't block you. It also doesn't remove the auras you currently have attached to it in case you're going against white. Crown of Awe, 1 and a white to give protection from black and red. In order, this is really good because black and red is mostly the removal colors. Felidar Umbra, give it lifelink and totem armor. Indomitable Will, in order to give it +1/+2 and flash speed, which is really good because not only do you cast on this, you're casting a second one and attaching it. So at flash, you get to cast get 2 auras onto Light Paws, which can really turn the tide. Rune of Sustenance comes in, draws you a card and gives it lifelink. Sentinel's Mark, +1/+2 and vigilance, and if it's during your main phase, gives it lifelink as well, which can be really useful. Skyblade's Boon gives it flying, and you can return it to its owner's hand from the battlefield or graveyard, so it allows you to recast it again. Spectral Steel, +2/+2, and you can exile it from graveyard to get another aura from your graveyard to your hand, so useful to get back the big ones. Battle Mastery to give it double strike. Dub in order to give it +2/+2 first strike and make it a knight. Well, why not? Face of Divinity, +2/+2, and as long as an aura is attached to a giant creature, it has first strike and lifelink. So you cast this, you're guaranteed to have a second one because you immediately find another one to cast and put on it. Gauntlets of Light gives it +0/+2 inside combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Really useful, you can use that to shoot at a different card to give it massive defense. Squire's Devotion, +1/+1, and lifelink. It also creates you a little vampire token. Stone Skin, this is a great one to cast with the Gauntlets of Light. This is a flash +0/+10, so defend yourself and immediately get able to cast Gauntlets of Light, which boosts its power essentially by 12. Unquestioned Authority to draw a card and give it protection from creatures. So not only will you most likely have vigilance, you can attack in with impunity. And a Mammoth Umbra, which gives it +3/+3 vigilance and totem armor. We need ways of protecting Light Paws, so the totem armor is really useful. Our next category are for auras that don't attach to Light Paws. These are ones you want to cast on opponent stuff, but you still get to find an aura and attach it to Light Paws. So we have our classics like Pacifism. You equip this, chant this to another creature and opponent controls, they can't attack or block, and then Light Paws gets better. Reprobation, in order to make their commander lose all abilities and make it a coward with base power 0/1. Really useful to shut down those annoying commanders. Trapped in the Tower, enchant creature without flying, and it can't attack or block, or activate abilities can't be activated. Bounding Gold, again, locks something down, but 3 mana, and it also can't crew vehicles. Dreadful Apathy, which allows it to not be attacked or blocked, and also can exile it if it has a pesky ability. Intercessor's Arrest, in order to not make it allowed to crew vehicles or activate abilities. Nahiri's Binding, again to not allow it to activate abilities. Sigrada's Imprisonment, again so you can exile it and create a blood token, which is sometimes useful. And Overwhelming Splendor, this one you can enchant a player and have all their creatures lose all abilities and have base power 1/1. And they can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. So really nasty one. If you get to the late game and want to cast this on someone, you cast this on them and go find your biggest aura to attach on the Light Paws. Pretty much game ending, but really fun. One thing to note is, no, don't put these on Light Paws. They won't appreciate it. Our next little category are ways of finding auras. We have a core Spirit Dancer. When you cast an aura, you get to draw a card to hopefully chain into some more auras. Heliod's Pilgrim allows you to search your library for an aura, put it into your hand. Moon Blessed Cleric, which allows you to find an enchantment on top of your library. A Shrine Steward, which allows you to search your library for an aura or shrine, or be only auras in this deck. And an Idyllic Tutor, which just lets you find an enchantment card and put it into your hand. All great ways of finding the aura you need at the right time. Next is our category to make auras cheaper. We have Hero of Iroas, however it's pronounced, to make aura spells 1 less. We have Starfield Mystic to make enchantments 1 less. We have a Transcendent Envoy to make auras 1 less. And a Starhelm Cruiser for artifacts and enchantments to cast 1 less. These are all great ways to make your auras cheaper so you can cast more auras. With all these auras on Light Paws, it becomes somewhat of a target, so we need some ways of protecting Light Paws. We have all the totem armor, but let's find some more options. Got Aliseed of Life's Bounty. You can pay 1 to sack it and give target creature or enchantment you control protection from your choice of color to end the turn. Really useful protecting Light Paws. Got a Blessed Hippogriff, which is a 2/3 flyer, but mostly it has a adventure side which gives target creature indestructible to end the turn. Blacksmith's Skill to give it hexproof and indestructible. It is not an artifact creature, but just the hexproof and indestructible is useful. A Boon of Safety to give a shield counter onto Light Paws in order to protect it, and get a Scry. God's Willing to give it protection from your choice of colour, Scry. Karametra's Blessing to give it +2/+2, and if it's enchanted, which it really should be, it gives it hexproof and indestructible. Lauren's Escape to give target artifact or creature hexproof indestructible or scry. Sajiri's Shelter to give target creature you control protection from your color of your choice until end of turn. It's also a land. And a Valorous Stance to give target creature indestructible until end of turn and maybe destroy a big creature if it's in your way. We also have some removal in enchantments because we have a few creatures that care about enchantments. So we've got Banishing Light, which exiles target non-land permanent opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. We have a Stasis Snare for exile target creature, but at flash. Settle the Wreckage to exile all attacking creatures come to you because they might go wide and we can't stop it. And a Sculptured Sunburst, which allows you to keep one creature, and we will be choosing Light Paws. We also have a small recursion package in case Light Paws dies and all our auras go to the bin. We have a Tragic Poet, which we can sacrifice to return an enchantment from the graveyard to your hand. A Sun Titan to allow you to return target permanent from convert mana cost 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield, which just lets you to get those smaller enchantments back. Resurgent Belief in order to return all enchantment cards from the graveyard to the battlefield, which will put all those auras back onto Light Paws. And a Brilliant Restoration, which does the same but also with artifacts. It's a bit pricey, but the blowout you can have after you've been destroyed a few times and suddenly Light Paws comes out and then suddenly all the auras that they thought were gone are now back onto Light Paws for a massive swing. And finally, a bit of utility with the cards we've got, which don't fit into any other category. We've got a Dawnheart Geist, which allows us to gain life every time we cast an enchantment spell. We've got a Catilda Dawnheart Martyr to give flying, lifelink, protection from vampires, but its power and toughness equal to the number of spirits you control. On the back, however, if you disturb it, it is an aura, which gives stuff plus X, where X is the number of permanents you control that spirits and or enchantments. Very, very useful. Get it back into the sleeve. We have a Shadow Spear to give it trample and lifelink, and a Restoration of Eiganjo to search for a land and to recur some of our cheaper auras. And finally, let's look at our lands. We have a Sandstone Bridge in order to give target creature +1 and vigilance, a Desert of the True to cycle, a Secluded Steppe also to cycle, Isolated Watchtower to scry, a Field of Ruin to destroy some nasty non-basic lands opponent controls, a Shafet Dunes, and 26 planes, because we want to play fairly quick and have our lands come in untapped. So that is the deck for Light Paws Emperor's Voice, a very straightforward one. Play as many auras and protect Light Paws as best you can. Very straightforward to make and build and play, and you can build it and customize it as much as you like that way. So let me know what you think and how you would change it, what extra cards or what cards you would cut, and I'll see you next time.